USABL Nation. This is Mike Kolesar. I am your host for USABL's Clubhouse Report. Today's special guest is Frank Salesi. He is a college umpire and one of USABL's finest. Frank, we appreciate you jumping on with us today.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I'm looking forward to it.
Of course. So, Frank, I know you used to coach your own teams. What made you want to become an umpire?
I think coaching my own teams made me want to become an umpire. I think that's what it was. Well, I've been around baseball since I'm 6 years old. I'm going to be 50 this year, so that's about 45 years, give or take. I played high school, played D1 college, played CBL while I was in college. I know you run the ABCCL.
Yep.
Played up in Westchester. I don't know if you know the Westchester leagues. Till I was 33, till I had my second kid.
Wow.
And then going up to Westchester and Rockland every Saturday and Sunday for a doubleheader with two kids. My wife wasn't too happy, so I had to hang up the spikes. That was in 2003 when I finally hung them up. And then 2010, my son turned 10 years old, and I think it was too late for him to get on a decent travel team because he was already 10, and they're starting at 6 and 7 years old these days.
Right.
And I didn't want to push him into baseball. So at 10 years old, I couldn't get him on a team. So I decided to just start my own organization. And I started something called the New Jersey Hitmen. That they're still around. I still have 3 or 4 teams. Not very involved, not at all actually. My name's still up there, but I'm not involved. And we did that until 2016 was my final year coaching. And I became an umpire by accident. It was that year. It was January 2016. I took my son to an umpire cadet. He was 16 at the time, and he met Ron Marino. Do you know Ron Marino?
Yeah.
So Ron works at Honda, and my son was looking at cars at Honda, and he had a shirt on with his last name Salesi. And Ron recognized my son's name and said, "Hey, is your dad Frank?" So they started chatting, and Ron convinced my son to go to the Central Jersey Umpire Association cadet program.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't drive. So I ended up taking him to the first class, and I saw Ronnie there, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I stick around?" And, rather than going home. And that's how my umpire career began. It was just by accident, taking my son to the cadet program, and I sat in the seat, and I loved every minute of it. My coaching, my fun that I was having early on coaching started, dwindling. It became more work than fun. And then, I saw this and I loved it. I loved it from Hey Guys, when Ron said Hey Guys. So it was fantastic. That year, I was doing some college ball in the summertime. And then in September or October, I tried out for the college assigners, and I got accepted with 2 college assigners, and I've been umpiring now college since 2017. So this is 2020, is that 3 or 4 years?
That's great. I mean,
yeah, all on accident.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're probably a student of the game, and as a coach, knew the rules inside of out. So probably a somewhat easy transition, other than touching up, on the different levels of ball. But that's a great story. So I got to ask, I mean, you do youth games and you do college games within the middle of a season. How do you handle going from a 12-year-old game from a college game?
Yeah, it's tough. I try to limit the travel ball in the spring as much as I can, but with USABL, there's so many games, and we're always looking for umpires. So anyone that's available, it's the money's nice that comes along with umpiring college games. The money's nice that comes along with umpiring USABL games, but trying to do them at the same time is rough just for that reason. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier from my perspective, umpiring a college game than it is a 12-year-old game. In college, things happen the way you anticipate them to happen, and having that baseball background, like you mentioned, makes it easier for me. So things happen the way I expect it to happen. When you do a 12-year-old game, it's tough. You got to have eyes behind your head. You can't take your eye off anything, and then I'll try to do as little plates as I can for 12-year-olds. because I don't want to screw up my strike zone when I get to college. And when I'm doing a 12-year-old game, it's very difficult for me to force myself to call strikes that I don't know who the audience is going to be, but it's the truth. You know, sometimes we have to call strikes on balls that are a little bit outside. We wouldn't call it a college game or a professional game. So that's the tough part is getting that strike zone and not taking your eye off the ball.
How about the parents? Are they as much as a problem at a younger level, or do you see that more in a college? Like, how do you handle out of control, fans or even coaches for that matter?
It's I think based on where I'm at is how I'm going to handle it. If I'm at a college game, I'm going to let the fans, yell at me all they want. There's usually some distance between myself and the fan, there's physical distance where they're at least 50, 60 feet away from me. They can yell all they want. We don't look, it's fine. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's a little bit more difficult when you're doing a 9-year-old game. You have someone's grandpa yelling at you from 7 feet away because, for the first base line is right next to the fence where they are. So when someone's attacking you from 7 feet away, real loud, you let it go. You let it go. Let them say what they need to say. But if it gets to the point where they just keep going with it, let them say what they need to say, but, say it and you're done. If it keeps going, then I'll address that with the coach. I'm not one of these guys that's going to address it with the parent. I'm not going to speak to any parents. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Let the coach handle it. So just let the coach know, hey, you got a parent. I'm sure you hear that parent, and they're going beyond what they need to be. So I need you to take care of it.
Yeah.
And leave it with that. And 98% of the time, the coach will deal with it and deal with it successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I've had you do my games at the youth level as well as the college level, and you just have a presence about you that kind of sets the tone for, I think, both the coaches and the fan in such a professional manner. So I think that's a lot of credit to you.
I appreciate that. And
So,
I think it's important to have that professional attitude.
100%, it comes across in your history of umping. Have you tossed more coaches or parents from games? Has it ever got to that point for you?
I've never tossed a parent.
Okay.
I one time, told the coach that, I've had enough of the parent, and I'm either going to toss you, the coach,
Yeah.
or the parent, or no, I'm either going to toss the coach or I'm going to end the game.
Right.
So take care of it. And this was actually, it was my second week into umpiring. So this was back in 2016. I'm not going to mention the organization. But it was 2016, week 2, and I had that situation.
You were put to the test early.
I was put real early.
It's like a cop trying to find it $50,000 or something and say, what's he going to do right now?
That's right. And you know what? It's good to have those experiences early, and it's important to have those experiences, every so often, because it's part of the game, and you need to stay sharp on how you handle that. Unless you go through that situation, you don't know how you're going to react. The first time the catcher stood up and took off his mask and started barking in my face, I tossed him, and this is a college guy. But now I have the experience of how that worked out and what can I do better next time rather than letting it get that far, So having that experience definitely helps.
No better teacher than experience.
That's right.
So I guess the big question here is, like, how has this whole shutdown affected you, and what are your fellow umps saying about the situation?
Personally, I miss being on the field. I'm very competitive by nature, and I love being on the baseball field, going on 45 years or so. It's just my happy place. More than everything else, I miss being on the field. I miss being on the college field. I missed it. I coached, I played, I coached, I umpired. Coaching was my least favorite and probably my most successful.
Right.
Because umpiring, you're on the field. You're on the field. You're impacting that game like a player would impact the game. Yeah, coaches do to some degree, but the umpire is, I think, a little bit above the coach as far as impacting that game and being a part of that game, because I'm on the field and I miss that part of it. I miss the money, but I miss the competition so much more than the money. You pack on 10, 15 pounds over the winter, and this is the time when I probably would have lost it all.
Right.
I'm packing on more by sitting in this office chair here. So I missed that part of it. And I feel bad for we signed up 200 or so umpires. Mike, we were over at the Gamers, as you know, in, I think it was January.
Mm-hmm.
We had 60 new cadets come in, and we signed up at least 200 umpires this season with USABL, and they went out and they bought all their gear, they bought the clothes, the uniforms, the shoes. I could see them spending $300 to $500 on this stuff, and
Right.
they haven't got to use it. So they outlaid $500, and they're sitting around not being able to make money on it. So I'm disappointed about that. I know all the kids. If I was a kid right now and I couldn't play baseball, that would be terrible. So I hope we get on the field quick. Today I saw on one of the news channels that the MLB said that they will definitely have a season this year, which is real positive. I think we're going to take our cues based on what the MLB does.
Mhm.
If they don't start up, I don't see any way we can start up. So I hope they start up real quick.
Good. Well, let's switch gears for a second here. Give you a rapid fire round.
Uh-oh.
So whatever answer pops into your head first. Your favorite baseball movie?
Bull Durham, hands
Okay.
down, no questions about it.
How about if you had to choose to be in the field or behind the dish? I know you said with the younger guys behind the dish, probably not, but as a overall whole.
I would love to be able to still play competitively. I don't want to play over 30, over 40. Not knocking them at all, but it's just not the way I grew up. So if it was over 40 or umpiring, I would say umpiring. If I could go out there and still perform, I'd love to be able to perform.
And what about a favorite quote? Something that's always stuck with you?
I can't say it on in public.
Okay, fair enough.
It's from Bull Durham. There's a few of them.
Yeah, we have a young audience, so we'll
Exactly,
save that one.
exactly.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with this. We had a huge baseball community that's going to watch this interview. Can you give us a positive takeaway with the whole situation that's happening right now in the world?
Well, positive is that here we are almost in May, and it seems like the cases are going down every day. The deaths are going to lag behind. We're all watching TV, and we see that, and it looks like we're getting close. And I just hope that we can make some adjustments as an organization and figure out how to get the games played safely and as quickly as possible. If we can start up at Memorial Day, would be a great day to start up. Maybe put the umpires behind the mound. Let's all wear masks. Let's, the baseball field is very big, and there's plenty of room for the parents to watch, from anywhere around that field. So let's get them to social distance, and let's be safe about it, and let's play ball.
Yeah, a baseball field was built for social distancing.
That's right. That's right. So.
Well, Frank, this is great. We appreciate your time. I can't wait to see you back out there. And for those watching, we hope you guys are staying safe, staying home, and staying hopeful that we'll be out there sooner than later.
Thanks, Mike. Nice chatting with you, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you, Frank.
All right.